Well, hello again everyone. It's Friday morning, I've got the day off work and we're leaving very soon for a little caravan and motorhome club CL called the Burrells, which is at Surfleet in Lincolnshire. And we've booked it expressly with the purpose of doing some kayaking on the river, because we haven't got our blow up kayak out yet at all so far this year. It is a little bit too big to go in the garage, so it's going to have to ride in the living compartment of the motorhome with us. Our first stop is Morrison's to pick up some supplies. Well, we've just stopped at Morrison's. We were hoping to fill up with LPG. We're a bit low on LPG for the old gas low bottles that we've got, but the LPG pump here is out of order, so we've picked up some shopping, and I've had a quick look at the My LPG or the Find LPG, whatever it's called, app, and yeah, I think there's one near Spalding that we should be able to fill up at. Well, that's it. I've topped up with water, I've pitched up and levelled the van a little bit. Now I'm going to have a nice cup of tea and maybe a sausage roll. Well, at the moment we're on our own on this CL. There's no electric hookup here, but I don't think that'll matter with us just for the weekend, and there's an awful lot of sun here to charge up through the old solar panel. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get the awning up. Now the awning's up, I think I'm going to get the kayak ready. I don't think we're going to go out on the kayaks just yet because it's quite hot and Nikki wants a bit of a rest. But do no harm to get them all blown up, checked over and ready. Well, I certainly worked up a sweat with all that pumping. I think now it's time to have a nice cup of tea. Well, that was a much needed brew, I can tell you, after all that putting up of awnings and blowing up of kayaks. But let's have a quick look around this lovely little CL. So it's the Burrells CL just outside Surfleet, and you can just see Surfleet in the distance beyond our van. The CL itself is behind a sort of farm, equestrian kind of a place, and it's literally right next to the River Bure, B-U-R-E. Not sure quite how you pronounce it, Bure, something like that anyway. Yeah, we've got the river to explore in both directions over the weekend. It's grass pitches only and there's no electrical hookup, but we did manage to get some more LPG at the Morrison's in Spalding. pitched up not far from the drinking water tap. Got general waste bin and a recycling bin, and also by the side a separate doggy waste bin. And here in the next sort of field we have the chemical waste, chemical toilet disposal facility. It's quite some distance from the actual camping area, but that's perhaps no bad thing. Well, we've just been lazing around, taking it easy for a couple of hours because it's really been too hot to do much really. We both felt quite tired with the heat, but now it's cooled off a little bit. There's some clouds come over. Gonna have a little walk along the riverbank and perhaps see if we can find some blueberries. Well, I doubt we'll find blueberries, but we might find some blackberries. Well, it's an absolutely lovely spot here by the river. Do get a little tiny bit of road noise. Can hear like the noisiest vehicles. Heard a few motorbikes going up and down the A road, which is not far away, but yeah, it's a lovely spot. Well, we're walking towards Surfleet. It's not very far away, just a field or so away. I think there's some cows up here, look. Well, unfortunately, we came up to a big fence that said private land and no access and such, so I can turn around and walk the other way for a little bit. Our main mission is to see if we can find some blackberries. The old river's looking a bit green round the corner here. It's got a lot of green stuff on it. There were a couple of people on paddleboards went past earlier in the afternoon. I thought they might have... yeah, maybe they've sunk in the green. Didn't see them come back anyway. Well, I can't believe there is not a single bramble in sight.
You're not in bramble land.
Well, we don't seem to be in I thought brambles were everywhere. I thought I'd no bother finding some blackberries, but
very cultivated around here.
Well, it is cultivated around here, but even so, you'd expect a bit of blackberry in to be on offer, wouldn't you?
Along the river, and they've got all the reeds and stuff, and they let it go wild. Rewilding.
I've even bought some cream to have with them, but that's not looking very promising. And looking at the map, I'd got it wrong. I told you wrong earlier. This is not the River Burr, this is the River Glen. So yeah, not sure where I got the idea from. It was the River Burr.
Yeah, not Burr.
Well, it's the River Glen anyway.
Right.
So just ahead there in the distance is the village of Pinchbeck. So yeah, we're between Pinchbeck and Surfleet. I wonder if there's any blackberries in Pinchgate. Oh look, over on the other side of the river there, I'm pretty sure they're brambles. But there's also some hellhounds over there. So here we are, this is Pinchbeck, not Pinchgate as I said earlier. Don't know why I said that. Well, I think we're going to do a bit of a circular walk. That might entail a little bit of road walking. I think Nikki says she's seen some brambles. I wonder if there's any that have got any fruit on. I did find some brambles, but had absolutely none.
There's nothing on there.
Yeah, it's all dried up. No, they were no good. Just a handful of old dried up husks. This is most disturbing, very disappointing. It's definitely a very pleasant rural little road. Across over there in that field is the National Seagull Convention, where seagulls from all over the country have come to meet up and discuss seagull type issues. The corner of this field looks a little bit boggy. So this is the B1356, and despite only being a B road, it is rather busy. Now is it us, or does that church spire look a bit wonky to you? A bit like the old Chesterfield twisted spire. Yeah, that church tower is definitely leaning, isn't it? Definitely. Yeah, that is leaning most spectacularly. We're on the return leg now down Stockhouse Lane back to the campsite. we're pretty much nearly back at the van, and we haven't picked a single blackberry to take back with us, so yeah, mission unsuccessful. Well, we're back at the van now, and because our van's got no oven in, we've bought a ridge monkey, and it's going to be our first try of the ridge monkey. I think Nikki's going to try cooking some salmon in there, and I'm going to try cooking some sausages on the kayak. Now, you might have seen our video before where we were using the old kayak and I was getting no heat in it, and we were using cartridges that Nikki got off Amazon. Now, they're these genuine Coleman cartridges. This is the cartridge we were using on the new kayak that definitely does work. I think I picked this up from Go Outdoors or something. So I would have thought these Coleman ones would work the same. So I'm going to connect it up to the kayak and we'll give it a try and see if it lights up okay. Well, yeah, that seems to be burning all right on the kayak. So I'm guessing it was a problem with the old kayak we had and not those gas cylinders. I tell you, I'm not sure if we're doing this right, but I've put the fish in there. There's a little bit of oil. I've oiled both sides of it, and I've got my sausages in there as well. So yeah, let's light it up, give it a go. I understand you have to have it on quite a low heat because it cooks quite quickly, I'm told. So there we go, it's on the kayak, and I've been careful to position these plastic handles so they're not over the burny bit, because I'm not entirely sure how fireproof they are, but yeah, I've got it on the lowest sort of heat that it'll do, and yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Well, it does seem to be cooking okay. It's not cooking as super fast as been warned about. I've got it turned down quite low, so I've turned it up a little bit more now. Well, Nikki's salmon is done. Looks like that's done nicely. You looking forward to your salmon, darling?
Of course I am.
And I've turned it up a little bit to finish doing my sausages because they're not looking quite ready yet. And there we go, there's my sausages done nicely as well. So I'm going to tuck into those, and I think we'll call the old ridge monkey a bit of a success, I think. Well, it's a lovely hot morning again today. The sun's quite fierce, got plenty of sun cream on. Unfortunately, poor old Nikki's not feeling too good this morning, so she's just going to chill out in the motorhome and in the awning, and I'm going to take the kayak out for a little bit of a recce. The riverbank by the site is quite steep, and there are a lot of reeds and things growing at the edge of the river, but I managed to find a clear spot that wasn't too bad to put in, and yeah, soon on my way down the river. So I'm heading towards Surfleet, and this is just about as far as we got before we had to turn back when we tried to walk. So yeah, much easier to paddle into Surfleet. What a glorious day it is to be out on the water. It's a great shame Nikki wasn't feeling up to joining me. Let's have a quick look beneath the surface. There are plenty of little fish and quite a lot of water lilies, which I think must indicate that the river is pretty healthy and not too polluted. this is the bridge that we walked over when we went out for our stroll yesterday. Lots of big, expensive looking houses along this stretch of the river. I forgot to put the little front skeg thing in. I've put the two back ones on, but I forgot about the front one, so that's why the kayak isn't tracking particularly well. Also, the nose is quite high out of the water with just me sitting in the back of it. Sometimes swans can be a little bit troublesome and aggressive, but these ones took absolutely no notice of me. Spot of lunch. I'm going to leave the boat on the side of the river just in case Nikki does feel a bit better and is able to go out for a little bit. Well folks, I did enjoy that, but it was more windy out there than it looks and it was quite tiring, so I'm definitely in need of some lunch. I'm going to make myself, I think, an egg sandwich, and I might try doing it in the old Ridge Monkey. First thing, of course, put the kettle on for a nice cup of tea. So I've put a bit of oil on the old Ridge Monkey. I've buttered some bread, and I'm going to try just cracking an egg on top of it to make an egg, a sort of toasted egg sandwich. I'll see how that works out. Well, after a bit of a rest and some lunch, Nikki did feel up to having a little bit of a go on a kayak. So we got down again to the river and we took it out again, and yeah, very glad that she did manage to get out on the river in the kayak, because that was the purpose of this trip, really. Well, we've just had dinner. I cooked it on the Ridge Monkey again. Had quite a busy day really. Had all that paddling on the river, and then when we got back from taking Nikki out, I realised I hadn't really got very much cash, and I needed some money to pay for the site when we leave tomorrow. So I walked into Pinchbeck to find a cash machine. That was about 3.5 mile walk there and back. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty tired now, a little bit achy, so I think we're just going to have a chilled out evening and yeah, just relax in the van. It's a little bit chillier tonight than it was last night, so yeah, going to tuck ourselves away in the van, and I guess we'll see you in the morning. Well, I don't think I'll be doing any kayaking this morning. We don't want to get the kayak all wet and have to try and pack it away wet. And also, still a bit achy from yesterday. I think I overdid it slightly. Anyway, I've got the kayak all deflated and it's drying out in the sun. It's very important you don't pack these away wet, otherwise they can suffer quite badly from it. So I want to get it nice and dry before I roll it all up for next time. Well, I think everything's dried off nicely now, so it's about time I packed everything away. and yeah, leave the campsite much as we found it. So I'm going to take the awning down first, just to give the kayak that little bit of extra drying time. Well, we've had a great time and very much enjoyed our stay at this quiet little out of the way CL. Didn't really matter that we had no electric hookup. Our leisure battery held up okay, and of course it was topped up by the solar when the sun was shining. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this little CL to anyone looking to get away from it all for a little while. And if you've got a kayak or paddleboard to launch on the river, then so much the better.